You know, the second I saw Kirby car, I I knew that shit was gonna be different.
Kirby baby, what's poppin'? You know, I'm a big fan of that inhaling thing you do. Mind if I give it a try? Awesome, thank you. Alright. The flowers are in full bloom, water is pouring from weird holes with no water source. Everything is as happy as can be here on Planet Popstar. Until it's fucking Hello! How are you doing? It's been a while. So listen, this game's been out for months at this point, so I don't know if it's really necessary, but hey, all of our lives are busy. We've all got backlogs that we tell ourselves we'll get through. I get it. I just wanted to say that if you have plans to play Kirby in the Forgotten Land, this video will be going through the end of the game, so if you don't want to risk being spoiled on anything, I'd recommend leaving now, please and thank you. Okay, please and thank you. Goodbye, please and thank you. Clouds start rolling over Planet Popstar, and a big hole in the sky shows up and starts a-suckin', and Kirby, being the Suck King, doesn't take too kindly to this, so to resist, he hops on a warp star and gets sucked into the hole. Good job. Presumably after being knocked unconscious, Kirby wakes up on a beach. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kirby. You're gonna be getting sand out of those shoes for like the next month. Neighboring this beach is a forest that is about as deceptive as most people you'll find on Tinder. Bold and colorful on the surface, sure, but dim and perpetually perspiring in reality. Once Kirby makes it out to the other side of the forest, we're shown a shot of an overgrown city just waiting for our cuddly little puffball to explore in the third dimension. My name is Kirby, look at me. Daddy Sakurai made me 3D. Advancing into the city, we're actually able to see that a good number of Dreamland residents were sucked into that portal that brought us wherever this is. Well, as long as we're on uncharted land, I think it's safe to say that Popstar law doesn't apply in these parts. Kirby, food. The first building we go into in this strange world ends up being some kind of auto shop, where a pre-rendered cutscene plays of some territorial awoofies, yes that's what they're called and I protect them at all cost, attack Kirby. Kirby, doing what he does best, decides that it's chow time and swallows them all while also Kirby! This is the first of Kirby's new mouthful abilities that we get to see, and what a start it is, because I know for a fact that with the state that the drive test website is in, Kirby probably wasn't able to get his G before his G2 expired and is probably driving illegally without a license. Do better, drive test. I should not have to drive up to Sudbury just to keep my license. It was worth it though. There's a restaurant called the Laughing Buddha, the best pizza I've ever had. The Hala Kahikiyaki? Fuck. But Kirby's pissed! Kirby developed bad road rage because of this! Kirby hates recycling! The game provides a brief area to take Kirby for a test drive, and swiftly meets us with a bridge that, once rammed into, plays the game's opening. I posted this video up to be scheduled to be released on the 11th of August. It is the 10th of August, and I got a copyright claim for the theme of Evangelion. This is me very poorly singing the theme to Evangelion. Just a wholesome montage of Kirby driving through the city, stopping for ducks as they cross the road, cruising alongside a flock of seagulls. Damn. I think I love birds. I loathe birds. And whatever that is. So you're forced to fight 8 awoofies. Kirby, the absolute gamer, dabs. So this unfortunate creature that we've saved is named Elfilin. After having seen all those sweet, innocent Waddle Dees get captured, this Elfilin fella feels guilty about being the only one to have not been captured and requests to join Kirby as he finds his way through this forgotten land. Alright, we've arrived at a point in the video where it's very important for me to admit something to you. Before this game came out, I knew I really wanted to make videos on it, and I was so excited thinking about, how it would turn out, and continued to think that while playing through what was basically the tutorial level. Then I saw this screen, and the optimism bubble popped. I remembered, oh fuck, this is a Kirby game, with levels and worlds. All the videos I've made to this point have been about games that have frequent enough story beats to bounce off of, so creating a commentary on them isn't such a difficult thing. Kirby doesn't really have that. There's actually some lore as you get closer to the end of the game, which is nice enough, but what about the other literally 90% of the game? This is something that I was thinking about constantly as I was playing through the game. Like, how am I going to comment on every single level? I already used one of my 3 allotted sucking jokes in the first minute. I can't lean on that crutch forever. And so the thought eventually occurred to me, well, I don't really have to talk about every level, right? So here's the idea I came up with. I'm going to spin a roulette that will decide which level I'll talk about for a given world, and then also talk about the boss for said world afterwards. Great! A roulette is boring as fuck. Why is anyone going to want to watch me spin a roulette? If the roulette lands on whichever Kirby game is present, I will talk about that game instead of talking about a level for whichever world we're in. So I didn't actually actively dislike any of the levels in Natural Plains, and I don't know, Kirby's Adventure is fun. I've not actually beaten it, so I don't know, could be a fun time. Look at that boy spin, wow, look at him go. Through the tunnel. Wonderful. Through the Tunnel isn't a particularly interesting level when looking at it at face value, but it does however give us some interesting insight to the scaling of this world. Everything in the environment is conveniently Kirby-sized, which, I mean, it makes sense. Generally speaking, the enemies are also Kirby-sized, so it makes sense that all the scaffolding, sandbags, and cinder blocks are all scaled to reflect that. But I couldn't take my mind off these fucking lanterns. There's 4 of these lanterns sprinkled throughout the level for Kirby to light up. But this isn't a lantern that Kirby could just pick up or anything, like it's bigger than him. So my mind starts racing. Who put these here? Why would they need lanterns in a place like this? There are multiple areas in the level that provide electricity-powered light. Are there beings of a previous settlement that left them behind and the workers here decided to build around them instead of disposing of them? Maybe these lanterns symbolize something within our own souls. A light that burns so hot and is larger than ourselves that we could never hope to get a firm grasp on it. What do they mean, these lanterns? Lanterns! Fuck. Lanterns! There's not much more to this level other than what you could infer from the title of it. You quite literally make your way through a tunnel until you come out on the other side. This level does, however, display probably the most absurd of Kirby's new mouthful abilities. If you thought the idea of Kirby breaking his tongue through the top of a car to turn the steering wheel with it was wacky, buckle up. These stairs have been walked all over for too long. They're fighting back. I wrote that. Thought it was clever. Reading it. Oh no! One last tunnel to go through and Kirby's made it to the end of the level, freeing some Waddle Dees in the process. Once all of the main levels are complete and the required number of Waddle Dees are saved, access is given to the final level of Natural Plains, the Brawl at the Mall. Entering this level starts Kirby in an overgrown mall, which is very thoughtfully designed and makes you wonder what kind of civilization used to live here. Wait, no. Pause. Rewind, please. They nerfed Kirby to only be able to float like a foot off the ground, but whatever that was can scale the whole shopping complex? I give up. I quit. What's the point? Well, I don't know. I'm much less intimidated now that I know it's just glam rock drummer Donkey Kong. So yes, Gorimondo, big monkey. He's here to stomp the ground and chuck boulders of concrete, but really, I just think he's looking for a clean shave. That's all I really have to say about Gorimondo. He kind of suffers from forgettable first boss syndrome. You're dead! After exiting the level, we're brought to Waddle Dee Town, which is a place where the Waddle Dee... Wait, gacha? Oh, no. Oh, I can't afford to roll here, too.
Fire Emblem Waifu-chan.
My beloved, they could never understand our bond. So here's Waddle Dee Town, a place where rescued Waddle Dees find solitude that progressively gets bigger and bigger as the game progresses. The first building we're shown in this town is a weapons shop, which can be used to upgrade copy abilities and test them out as well. Hello, Mr. Sandbag. I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do to you. I'll be honest, this was like the most forgettable world in this game for me, so like, I'm kind of hoping for Kirby Superstar. Ah! Come on, big boy. What is that? What does that say? Fast flowing waterworks. Shit. Speaking of shit, so when I first played through this level, my original impression was that it was some kind of sewer system with water flowing to who knows where, but after watching the footage back, it's absolutely supposed to be a dam. Regardless of that, I'm still gonna think of it as a sewer because I like the idea of Kirby floating through the water and a little turd brushing up against his foot as he goes by. But that is the general premise of this level, with there being large segments of water that are propelling Kirby forward. There were some out-of-place choices for additional elements here though, like this Poppy Bro Jr. I'm not too keen on the idea of someone bombing a dam. Kind of sounds like it would cause a stream of unfortunate events. Or like this carton of milk. Why would there be a carton of milk floating in the water? Well, actually, if we're still running with the sewer idea, then there would be some pee in here. Maybe they were trying to go for some milk lemonade type thing, but I couldn't really see Hal alluding to anything sexual in this game. Well, now with that hig out Kirby, I'm not so sure. The following area contains a bunch more stairs for Kirby to swallow up, and I quickly found out that in this rock, paper, scissors setup, water beats stairs every time. The final area of this level is more of the same, with the water controlling the flow of movement, but with 2 added whirlpools to check to make sure you're paying attention, and fast-flowing waterworks has run its course, immediately after opening up the boss level to this world, the Tropical Terror. And I'm not too familiar with, especially a lot of the newer Kirby designs, but that silhouette is one I recognize. The Kirby 64 fight wasn't super captivating, so hopefully Wispy pulls out all the stops for this one. Nope! I think our friend Wispy here caught one too many waves. So this fight isn't really all that hard either. Tropic Woods only dropped 2 explosive coconuts and 1 little huff of air by the time I had gotten it to half health, upon which it starts erecting fences from the ground and its roots start flying all over the place. I get it, Boo. Sometimes you just gotta let those puppies breathe. Just be careful of spontaneous deforestation. Oh god! Sorry, bro. Those invisible arborists will sniff that shit out from a mile away. With 3 more Waddle Dees secured, we're brought back to Waddle Dee Town, where it seems like we've saved enough of the little... Well, I don't know what they're meant to resemble, really. I always just thought they looked like squishy little monkeys. A seemingly friendly Waddle Dee says that there's help wanted at this establishment, and so far we've been doing a good job at helping the town get repopulated, but if I can really help these creatures get back to a normal life, I'll give them all the support I can. Oh wait, no. I cannot go back to customer service. I did my time when I was 16. I don't deserve this. I'm gonna juice that mustard bottle so hard later.
I'm only just now realizing as I'm setting this roulette up in front of me that this was a massive mistake, because this world was really cool, but also Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is my favorite Kirby game. Like, I'm a Game Boy Advance slut, man. I don't know. I'm gonna be happy either way with this one, to be honest.
You know, these candid recordings are working as perfect segues into the levels that we're covering, because this level makes me want to vomit. Glad I wore a helmet for this one. Now out of the way! Circuit Speedway can be a longer level if you're playing through it with the intention of getting gold on both races. On the second of the 2 races, if I had just gone with my original race time, I would have been in and out of this level in 6 minutes. Which, hey, maybe isn't such a bad thing. It just gives me more time to spend at work. The cafe needs me, after all. I'm providing a service to my community. But I'm a gamer. I don't back down from a time-based challenge. The idea of slowly shaving off milliseconds until I achieve the time set before me makes my legs shake. Okay, well, if I ran through this cardboard box, I gotta stop getting caught in all these oil patches. This run is trash. Yo, someone clip that. We're gonna go emote only through the carousel section. 43.528. Nobody's getting better than that. It's just not possible. Anyways, other than that, the only other interesting thing this level has to offer is that it's one of the few times where the invincible candy shows up, which, like... But there's overall not a whole lot to talk about on this one, so we'll just head right to the boss fight for this world, Danger Under the Big Top. We start off at the entrance of a circus tent and are met with a figure looming in the distance on stage. They've got a top hat and a cape with a huge collar, so I think we can expect some type of magic gimmicks on this one. And for their first trick, they will subvert all expectations because it's just a sexy fucking cat! Clawroline! It's like Caroline, but with a little more meow. She primarily attacks by using her claws and knives to try to pop our little balloon boy. And she moves fast too, kinda like she's in a rush. Oh, you trying to make it home to see Garfield? Oh, you... Actually, I can't really blame you. I'd be rushing too if I got to go home to that every night. Overall, it only takes a few stars to the face and she goes down with relative ease. With more Waddle Dees to relocate, we're sent back to Waddle Dee Town where on the upper half we're shown a new Coliseum. I've never really been a big fan of, like, olive oil or anything, so I think I'll probably pass on the Colosseum.
Let me in. Get out of my way. 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 Hello, big boy.
Why he's ended up in this world too, I have no idea, but I just want to Meta Knight only really shows up in this game as a secret boss, I guess you could call it, so this is unfortunately the extent we see of him. And the fight was fun, until I realized there was an easier strategy that I could employ to win that I had learned from a different game, but it was still great to see him. So, with Meta Knight's established notoriety, surely there would be an awesome, stunning, and grandiose reward for taking him down.
Now, since I know everyone was asking for it, I decided to include Kirby Bejeweled. Battle of Blizzard Bridge. Oh, this one's kind of fun.
For the first few levels I covered, I was kind of worried because they don't really do a good job of showing off the variety in this game in terms of the mini-bosses and the mouthful abilities. But this level is literally just a mini-boss rush with mouthful abilities and secret areas, so I kind of struck gold on this roulette. This is how gambling addiction starts. So we start off with this really low shot of the bridge of which we will be battling on, though I don't really see where the blizzard part comes in. That's more of a light fog. Our first boss to fight is a Wild Edge, which is just this game's version of a gigant. Is it gigant? Is it gigant? Is it gigant? I'm not sure. It swings its sword and it puts up its shield, and that's all I could really get before I killed it. The mini-bosses in this game are about on par with difficulty as they were in the 2D games, so if you're able to knock them, it's a bit of a massacre. Once the Wild Edge is defeated, we advance to the sub-area just after, and I'd like to get your opinion on something. If you take a look at this little guy, where do you assume his little brain is? Now, since I have all the power in this situation, I'm going to assume that you think it is where I think it is, which is right around here at the top of his head, which, if that is the case, it's definitely not anymore. But who needs brains when you have a smile like that? The next mini-boss is Florina, and honestly, I have nothing I want to say about her other than fighting her is not fun, and it hardly feels worthwhile because she gives you, in my opinion, the worst copy ability in this game because it's just plain annoying to use. I hate it, it sucks, but I needed to save these Waddle Dees, and I am not leaving my sweet Deedoo boys in the dark. Actually, wait, no, that triggered a thought, sorry. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. For those of you who have not played any previous Kirby installments, this is a Waddle Doo. They don't show up in this game, which is a real shame, because I really like the little guys. But when writing this section and confirming that they weren't in this game, I made an unfortunate observation that Kirby and Waddle Doos have the same body type. They look like Kirby's if they suckled on a giant eyeball. If I have to live with this knowledge, so do you. Vending Machine Kirby, who needs change when you have a smile like that? Our next fight is up against Wild Bonkers, which I would love to talk about, but we've already fought a big monkey, and this is really just a little big monkey anyways. I'd rather keep checking out new stuff, so let's just move on to—
Ooh, fuck, I can feel the viewer retention falling. Something new, quick, please!
Frosties! Did you know that they're like walrus things? I didn't. I grew up thinking that they were like dog things in overalls.
Pipe mouth Kirby, who needs to drain when you have a smile like that? Boss level?
Okay, sorry, I need to calm down. Waddle Dees have been acquired, so now we can move on to our next boss level, an unexpected Beast King. Arriving outside a snowy castle, we're met with two Awoofies guarding the foot of the stairs. One was actually scratching its ear as I approached, completely unbothered, but it still managed to do more than the gatekeeper from 3 houses.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report.
Dude, my dad just got murdered. Based on the title of the level and the silhouette, it was no surprise that the character we'd meet once entering the castle is King Dedede. Though I was caught off guard by the fact that they decided to make his mouth similar to the way it was in the crystal shards, which is a shame because it makes him look a lot less intimidating.
Whoa! Whoa!
What kind of boss complex are you rocking right now? The mouth doesn't look good.
Wait, okay, dude, calm down.
The DDD fight starts off with a few familiar moves from his arsenal, and in the second half, he arms himself with a pillar and starts going to town with some crazy ice moves. Our Penguin King overall gets taken out with relative ease, though as we continue in our quest to return these Waddle Dees back to... No. Bro, you wouldn't. Not during the fanfare. Oh. Am I meant to care? I mean, he's cute, but... Like the true big bad DDD is, after capturing Elfalin, he summons his band of crows and they carry him off into the distance, not to be seen again. That wasn't convincing at all, was it? No, they're just flying across the pond a little bit. They ended up in a desert. It's got palm trees. Maybe they're all going on a little vacation.
See, now on this one, I feel like I kind of fucked myself over, but on the other side of things, because in Originull Wasteland, there was only really one level I liked. I think it was searching the oasis, and then whatever the fuck that is. My life is pain.
Starting outside another cave, we pass by some new mole enemies called Diggas. That's with a UH on the end, so it's okay, who yield a new drill copy ability. At this point in the game, I had upgraded it once, making it into the pencil drill version, which it's just in that awkward stage of puberty when you go from having one drill to two, and frankly, I'm just grateful to find out this happens to other people too. We start off our spelunking adventure by finding a new mouthful ability where Kirby can suck up a light bulb and hobble around like he's any man above the age of 50 trying to move a dresser. You know that, like, low squat hobble they do? Like that. Kirby uses this light bulb to illuminate parts of the cave that are in low light to help traverse the cave's winding paths. Though I feel like being able to see in a cave like this would only be a hindrance, there are so many falling platforms and scaffolding that being blissfully ignorant would probably be the way to go. After making it out to the other side, there's a really pretty area of some hoodoos. It's apparently what they're called, but the whole area is unfortunately just some quick, low-stakes platforming, so it's really hard to take in the environment. You know what else is hard to take in? Just how damn qualified this little bastard is. He's got electricity flowing through his veins, can drive a car with his tongue, and get this. Scissor lift certified. Me and this 8-inch piece of shit applying for the same job, he gets it every time. He could even be a gliding instructor. If it wasn't for all these falling hoodoos. Anyway, who's excavating the canyon? Elon? This is Mars, buddy. Go back to smoking weed on the internet, sinner.
The level's over.
Let's hear about this collector guy, alright? Starting off at the top of a sand dune, we work our way down what looks like the lair of whoever the next boss is. And I can say, collector is a bit misleading. This is all just random junk. Although these bottles on the ground are giving me some hints. Bit of a klepto when we're drunk, are we? I mean, honestly, it's something I've been trying to kick for a while myself. Oh, fuck. This is the first time my car is seen in like a kilometer. What's up with that? Ugh. Why's the scaling of this car have to be so fucking dumb? Can't get over here. What are you doing? Oh no! There's what are you doing in my car? Hey, I just got beer all over me. Give me a break. I'm just gonna take this. Is that okay? That's so stupid. Also, the number of wanted posters in here. I think we've got a fan. I can picture them now. Kirby 30th anniversary shirt, a Warp Star backpack with just barely too many buttons on it, and by that I mean any at all. And difficult. I picture them being difficult. This battle was a real turning point for me. This is the point where I started losing. Not like a lot, but just enough where it made me feel pathetic. One thing that really sucks about this game is that since you won't be dying very often, they make sure to punish you where it really hurts. Your wallet. Dying in Forgotten Lands sets you back 100 star coins, which is actually quite a bit. Right after I lost this fight, I thought it would be a good idea to have a spare Maxim tomato on hand just in case. But when I went to buy it, I realized I didn't have enough money for it anymore. I'm trying so hard to keep it together, but I'm failing against bosses. All my relationships are failing. I haven't seen Bandana Waddle Dee since Natural Plains. I have no life outside this job anymore. No matter how many new items we get in stock, more things change, the more they stay the same. Face it, kid. We're all just boys living in a yo world. Who are you? So the boss fight, right? It's against this wacky fellow named Silly Dillo, who seems to have an unhealthy obsession with Kirby for some reason. For the first bit, the only thing he really does is try to catch Kirby in a cage, presumably to add him to his collection of assorted goods. The fight doesn't really stay like this for long though, as in a fit of rage, he breaks through the floor to show the true arena for this battle. His primary attack in the first phase is a spin dash type move where if you're in line with the direction he's going at all, you're bound to take big damage. After he's taken enough damage, he whips out his girlfriend and starts dancing on Kirby. Oh, wait, he has a harem? I'm really rooting for Mitsuka on the right. Kudereis just do a lot for me, you know? So after getting back to Waddle Dee Town, I actually unlocked both the fishing minigame and one of those rolling ball puzzles, but like, neither of these things are fun to me, so I'm just not gonna talk about them. Redgar Forbidden Lands.
Redgar Forbidden Lands has one more level than all the other worlds, so it's not as likely that I'll be playing Kirby's Block Ball, which it's just Brick Breaker. Like, boot up your old ass Blackberry Bold. It's the same game. No fucking way. Are you serious?
Kirby's freaking Block Ball. You're gonna tell me that you took this kind little boy and made him go? So starting with the file, the first thing that really caught my eye is just how gorgeous this overworld map is. Like, for a Game Boy game, it feels incredibly full without being overcrowded. You can clearly tell everything is floating in the sky with the clouds, and honestly, I don't know what this dithering is, but it feels like it makes sense. Unlike some of these stages. Like the hot air balloon? Okay, that checks out. The sun and moon? As concerningly close as they are, it feels more on theme than a gear and a giant floating Kabu. Once you go into a stage, you have to play through it until you get through all of the rounds in said stage, and in the first one we get a very clear idea of what this game is. It's Brick Breaker. Except you have two platforms to hit off of, which feels about as pathetic as playing catch by yourself. There are also enemies that will be floating around the level, and unfortunately, the Waddle Dees that we've been saving in Forgotten Land are enemies in this game, which has me so conflicted. But ultimately, if you know how Brick Breaker works, clearing rounds is largely the same, where once everything is cleared off the screen, you move on. Round 2 put me in a weird position because it really made me remember that the ball is Kirby, and dying in this game means hurling Kirby into a wall of spikes, which feels worse than a death in a normal Kirby game. Round 3 has different bricks than the ones we've seen so far. They're larger squares that break off into smaller ones, and there's a broom hatter that's just way too focused on cleaning one of them. Either that or it's trying to get at... How many sweeps do you think it takes to get to the center of an 8-inch brick? In round 4, the most interesting thing that had happened was I thought I got soft locked, which is an interesting way of switching up the difficulty. No longer testing your ball bouncing abilities, but your patience. Hopping on the warp star at the end of this round brings us to the boss round of this stage, a large Cappy. This Cappy was really only hanging out though, which makes me feel bad because it's subjected to a beating from now a 3-way game of catch by myself. They are, quite literally, getting beaten up while I play with myself. With our first stage complete, it's time to probably never play Kirby's Block Ball again. Sorry, big guy, the soundtrack's kinda banging, but the gameplay gives the Dyson Ball Animal 2 a run for its money. Unfortunately, when I had the idea for the whole roulette system, I forgot that the boss battle in this world actually requires a little context from the level before it, so let me go through that real quick. The level is called the Beast Pack's Final Stand. The tall and short of it is that Kirby has arrived at the base of the Beast Pack, which I'm not sure if it was ever mentioned that the enemies native to this game had a team name, but they do, I guess. Their base is deep underground, and the level ends while still inside the base, which is also where the boss level, in the presence of the king, takes place. After taking an elevator down to a new area within the base, we are met with a new form of DDD called Forgo DDD. The biggest difference you'll notice is that he's wearing a hand flipper carved mask, and his moveset is a lot different from our previous encounter. He starts with a barrage of hammer attacks with some fire properties, a tornado spin, he can somehow throw down plumes of lava, and once you bring his health all the way down, something comes over him and he gets... so primal. But even that insatiable trot won't spare him for long as he goes down, mask broken, and more Waddle Dees are saved. After our battle, it seems like DDD has come back to his senses, and while he and the Waddle Dees seem happy about this, their reunion is cut short by a swarm of Beast Pack members that come rushing into the arena. Our group makes a dash towards an elevator at the far end of the stage, but one of the Waddle Dees takes a tumble.
Fucking idiot!
And King DDD, being the noble monarch he is, doubles back towards his subject and throws them into the elevator before it closes, taking on this Beast Pack horde solo.
I don't even care that you did something cool. Your mouth still looks stupid.
Standing lonely in the elevator with the saved Waddle Dees starts out ominous as a system starts booting up and lights flicker on. After a while, the elevator starts moving, and buckle in folks, we're about to get some actual lore. The elevator ride is narrated by a woman's voice and is structured like some guided zoo tour, which, ooh boy, once you see their prize specimen, you'll be disappointed you paid the $14 for parking. The voice refers to the specimen on display as IDF-86 and details that it arrived on this planet and started threatening the native wildlife, so the creature was captured before it could become too much of a problem. Once captured, researchers started investigating some teleportation capabilities the creature displayed, which they used to develop their own warping technology powered by a wall of Waddle Dees on hamster wheels, which explains why they're being captured in the first place. Because like hell we're gonna let some creature do what it wants, nobody abuses our ecosystem but us. The voice details something called a warp experiment incident where IDF-86 had another lifeform split from it, which escaped the lab. IDF-86 has been lying dormant since. Well, if you don't want to witness the horrifying imagery in the next room, I would advise leaving now. Sure you want to stay? Alright, don't say I didn't warn you.
Oh, God, it's awful. They put Kirby in blackface!
Oh yeah, no, sorry, this thing, right. It's unfortunate, isn't it? It's accompanied by this studly fellow, Redgar, who gets to be the bearer of more lore. I guess those who had originally taken advantage of the newly discovered warping technology fled this planet, leaving the Beast Pack behind. Redgar wants to find the missing half to IDF-86 so that they can also take advantage of this power. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Unsurprisingly, Elfilin is IDF-86's missing half, and after taking down some woofies that Redgar sicks on Kirby, he takes it upon himself to take Kirby down. The first phase of the Redgar fight is pretty plain. He mainly uses claw swiping attacks, but the second phase is where things get interesting. Something comes over him and he gets a bunch of new attacks as well as a purple glow that gets so feisty. Meow. I did this earlier with Diddly too. I'm not gay for these Kirby characters or anything, but if you are, you do you, you know? I'm not gonna give you shit for it. I'm a big fan of gay people. I'm a big gay guy. No more planning, no more patience. Instead, everything shall be consumed. Listen, man, I know taking the loss can be kind of hard, but binge eating is not the answer. You know that blue blob that Seth Rogen played in Monsters vs. Aliens? This looks like that if it aged as well as that movie did. I rewatched that movie to make sure that joke had legs, and yeah, long ones. It's really hard to call this a boss fight, but also, what else do you classify it as? Like, Fecto Fargo crawls towards Kirby through an endless hallway and you're able to attack it at basically any point, but there are huge windows where you can lay some pretty heavy damage. It slows the pace down quite a bit from the last fight, which felt a lot more high stakes in comparison. And if you're a sucker for a good frame rate, I'm sorry, nearly instantly after the fight ends, this blue monstrosity uses its final breaths to snatch up Elfilin and flee past Kirby up and away into an area outside of the lab. Now, to scale the building and engage in our culminating battle. As it was foreshadowed before, we are now in the presence of the combined form of Elfilin and IDF-86, Fecto Elfilis. Something interesting about this fight that I noticed is that a few of Fecto Elfilis' attacks mirror the attacks of some of the other bosses, most notably Claroline's knife attack and Silly-Dillo's rushdown attack. The biggest difference Fecto Elfilis has is it can heal. And throw meteors, but extinction bothers me less than having this bar go back up again. Bringing the boss to low HP causes Elfilin to pop out of its back, giving Kirby the opportunity to mouthful the sphere of energy radiating around the little rascal. Kirby manages to break Elfilin free, and Fecto... I guess just Fecto, isn't too happy about this, and in retaliation opens a portal that it intends to use to have this planet and Planet Popstar collide. This is some real Jealous X type shit, like, if I can't have you, nobody can. I'll never treat you as good as I will. That may be true! This is my Elfalin voice. That may be true! He's enigmatic, irresponsible, he doesn't even wear pants. But at least he has his AZ! What are pants? Skyscrapers and strips of road suspended in space line up the runway for Kirby, Elfalin, and Fecto's final confrontation. There's plenty of pushback from both sides, but once Elfalin starts pumping Kirby full of I don't even want to guess what, the fight officially ends in our hero's favor and Fecto is incinerated. Landing back on Planet Popstar, it seems that even though Fecto has been taken out, their portal is still causing chaos, triggering Elfalin to act in the only way he knows how, closing the portal and separating him and Kirby for good. He says a quick goodbye and disappears as peace washes over Dreamland once again. Kirby seems absolutely distraught, and understandably so. The bond these two forged cannot be replicated. They went through so much, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kirby went on a hiatus over this. It's a formative moment in his life, and if he needs that time to breathe, I think the least we can do is be understanding and give him the space he needs. Fuck you. Yeah, the credits roll, we get some cute frame shots of everyone getting up to antics together and end on a shot of Kirby, Bandana Waddle Dee, and Elfalin. Until this guy showed up again. I would talk about all this, but you wouldn't be here if you were looking for an in-depth lore analysis. I'll leave that to the RPG monger. I'm here to do what they can't. Like, I bet they can't do this. I can make this sign as light, whoa, or as heavy as I please. I don't have to talk about lore here if I don't want to. I didn't even write a third sucking joke. I completely forgot. Doesn't mean I have to double back to do it. When I'm in here, I can do whatever I want! Hey. Thanks for being here.